Hello and welcome to Movie of the Year, the only podcast with the science and the screaming to determine the best movie for any given year. This year we are doing 1999 again, part 2 of 1999. We're checking our math. Did we get the right answers? Did we come up with the correct movies? And tonight, to check our math, we are covering Run, Lola Run for the majority of the show, but stick around. A little bit later, we are going to briefly talk about the Blair Witch Project. I am your host, Greg. Thank you for joining me tonight, everybody. And before we get going, just a quick reminder, this is a game show. There's going to be points, all right? You will get points. You may get lots of points. How do you get those points? Good question. Asking good questions is a good way to get points. Making a good point, saying something funny, saying something that I agree with, praising me right in that bandwidth, like right in that area where it's not too much, not too little. And because it's a game show, also, you know there's going to be some down and dirty contestants. My first contestant loves to get down and dirty. It's the star of the movie Mud Run, Mike Mud Run. It is, of course, right, no, it's Mike. Mike, how you doing?
I'm great. I'm not muddy, so I'm sorry if I made you a liar, but I'm
you know what?
Prepared to get as muddy as you need me.
It's nice to see you not muddy, man, because I know you love to do the mud runs, but at some point you got to lose the mud, right?
I'm just a little piggy. I like to oink oink all up in that dirt.
This is the podcast of Little Piggies, 100%. My next panelist, my next contestant, if you will, star of the movie Jog, Give Up, Walk, it's Ryan. Ryan, how you doing, bud?
Great. Greg, I really appreciate the fat joke right out the gate. And I would say that
it wasn't just a fat joke, Ryan. It wasn't only a fat joke. That was in there. That was part of the constellation, but that was just one star in there.
And I appreciate being the opposite of Mike here, because Mike sees mud, he gets in mud. I would not stick my finger in mud if they said this will cure all of everyone's diseases. I don't. It's disgusting. It's wet dirt, and it could be quicksand.
This guy is never gonna get in mud. And our third contestant, writer for the AV Club, writer for GQ, Vulture, TV Guide, The Reveal, and a returning guest, a guest that I demanded be on the show, both to my co-panelist and to the man himself in his own email. Welcome to the show, Keith Phipps.
I'm back. It's true. I am back.
Yeah. Keith, you returned to us even though we invited you to be on our Once Upon a Time in America show in 1984, and I spent the entire time grouchy, and you very gently held me and were like, it's okay, bud. You're still going to have to appreciate this movie.
This is a little bit more a little easier crowd pleaser, I think. Run, Lola Run. Probably less me talking you into. We'll see.
Speaking of which, Keith, what is your history with Run, Lola Run?
It's pretty short, really. I saw it when it first came out. I liked it. I didn't see it until the other day when I watched it for this podcast. My wife and kid watched it recently without me. I was doing something else, and so it was a hit. Then it hit with the 14-year-old demographic in our house. So I think it's got some legs. No pun intended.
Hey-oh. Oh man, Keith came to play. Mike, what is your history with Run, Lola Run?
I have known this was a movie for quite some time. And then this week, I got to finally watch that movie. So almost zero history.
Okay. Zero history for Mike. Ryan, how about you?
Yeah, this I'm along with Mike. I missed this one, and I gotta say, I'm glad the '90s are still alive. If you go back and watch '90s movies, then you still get the '90s movies in your life. That was amazing.
Provided you watch them, you get the 90s movies now. I loved this movie when it came out. I was Run Lola Run pilled. I was all about it. Which I think means I saw it once and was very enthusiastic about it.
Sure.
And then I've been aware of it since then. But Keith, like you, I have just absolutely not really thought about it in the meantime. Where are we now on it? What are our current thoughts? Give me your overall, Mike, having seen it. Sort of, you're the freshest of the faces for this one.
Yeah, my thoughts haven't changed much. This is a movie. That I'm staying firm on that. I fucking loved this. It starts off, look, get on its wavelength. It is 90s as hell, and the sooner you can just be fine with that, just let the rest wash over you. It takes like 5 minutes to be like, okay, definitely in the 90s. But an 80-minute movie, hell yeah. Simple characters doing cool shit. Hey, modern filmmakers, please take some notes. Take a note. A cohesive story. Basic characters who we know their motivations and care about them. 80-minute runtime. Take a note.
Mike harping on the runtime. Keith, do you agree this is like 90s as hell?
Yeah, that was one of my first thoughts. It was like, oh, I'm feeling nostalgic for this era when you can just walk into a movie theater and just see, here's a snapshot of someone running around Berlin for 80 minutes. But I mean, yeah, for sure. But I mean, not in a way that I feel like that's a bad thing. I really, kind of enjoyed taking that trip back for sure.
Ryan, do you at all feel like we are going to spend the evening saying a lot of things about Run Lola Run and then following up those things like, not in a bad way though, or no, I swear, we really like this movie. Like, I feel like, I don't know, do you hear that a couching in all of these comments?
I do. I think that we're better podcasters than that. I think that we will be able to not do that the entire night. But for right now in the intro, let's do it as much as hell. This is the first movie like back in that day, people would direct music videos so as to direct movies. This felt like the first movie I've ever seen where he directed a movie so he could direct music videos.
Yes.
Hopefully in his future. And then the other thing too is that we talked about Hundreds of Beavers and how this was a video game, that is in the disguise of a movie. I could not believe how much a video game was in this, where like in the opening, she's, jumping and hitting coins and stuff, the whole thing. And if you die, you start over. So all of that was, I knew what the premise was, but there was still so much stuff that like was not told to me back then.
Yeah.
And like the other thing too is that like it's so hard to get like, let's say Gen Z to watch older movies because of the pacing. Not this one, motherfuckers. This one you can actually watch, and this will be like, oh, this is too fast for me.
Has there, Keith, in your opinion, has there ever been a more aptly named movie than Run, Lola, Run?
There's a character named Lola and she runs. So yeah, no, I don't think so. I think that's pretty accurate. What happens in this movie? Well, it's right there. It's right there in the title.
Part of what I had forgotten is that there's so much where she's just running. Like so much of this movie, she's just absolutely hauling ass. And that is like kind of all that's going on. Maybe a little house music playing in the background.
Younger people don't know that in the 90s, if you started running, you didn't need a speaker or anything. It would just go like, dong, 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 dong. That's just how exercise worked back then.
Well, we are going to move on in just a second, but in classic movie of the year style, we would be remiss, and we are absolutely quaking in our boots any chance where we might accidentally be remiss. Keith, you are joining us tonight in part because you have a book coming out, don't you? Could you tell us a little bit about that?
I wish I had a book coming out. I don't have a book coming out. I had a book come out. I can definitely plug something, but I had a book come out a few years ago. But
okay, let's do that then. Let's plug that.
Well, and the Reveal, which is the newsletter I co-write with my longtime collaborator Scott Tobias, is we just moved to Ghost from Substack for some mostly Nazi related reasons, frankly. And we're now at the reveal.film. And if you like movie reviews and essays and interviews and such, we're out there like at least 3 times a week, sometimes more than that. And I'm also one of the hosts of the podcast called The Next Picture Show with Scott Tobias and Tasha Robinson and Genevieve Koski, all people I've worked with back to my AV Club days, which we take an old movie and a new movie, and we kind of classic movie that seems to have influenced a new movie and kind of talk about them side by side.
Talking about 2 movies on one podcast.
It's crazy,
and
right?
Wouldn't you know it? This year, what are we doing but the same thing? An original idea that we had. When we come back, we will get into talking about Run, Lola, Run. Lola is just like any other young woman in the 90s. She's trying to find her place in an obviously broken world. She's unmoored from traditional forms of support. She's alienated from herself and those in her life. And of course, she has one of the biggest shitheads of all time as a boyfriend. Oh my God, Manny. Just sit there and shut the fuck up for like 1 second and let the woman think. God damn it, Manny. Jeez. No, I'm sorry. No, shut up. I'm sorry. And like so many women in the 90s, home and abroad, she has a series of increasingly powerful abilities that allow her to manipulate time, reality, and the fabric of the very universe. She uses this to live the same 20 minutes or so over and over again in an attempt to save Manny, who appears unable to keep himself safe or take care of himself in even the simplest of ways. Run Lola Run stands out as a movie because it is called Run Lola Run instead of Wait, Manny, wait, shut up, Manny, fuck you, Manny. The woman is in the title. What do you make of Lola's characterization, her role in her world, and Freca Potente's performance, Ryan?
Well,
And what do you think of my first time ever pronunciation of our lead actress, Franca Potente?
Obviously, Greg, it was wonderful, and that's not just.
Thank you. That's a point for sure.
Where we score things. I thought I was a little bit nervous about at the halfway point, and then I realized that there is a little bit of learning through each 20 minutes, and I feel like that there's a little bit of learning through Lola and Franca, and the director and the audience. The audience is obviously going to learn whatever you put in front of them. But is it dramatic irony, or is Lola going to learn? And as she goes on, she gets more agency. And I thought that that's what really made the performance better. It was probably shot close to, like in order of the scenes. Why not? Why do this out of order? And yeah, it was very interesting to watch her grow as a person, but only in 20 minutes, but 90 minutes for us.
Keith, what do we get from the focus on Lola in this instead of a movie that, I don't know, has more to do with Manny?
Yeah, I think that the big change for me watching this again was you actually I didn't remember Lola evolving as a character quite to the degree that she does. Yeah. And I think it's purely an experiment, a cool stylistic experiment. Without that, I think it's as much as I like this movie, I think it's maybe just a little bit more than a cool stylistic experiment as is. But I do like her progress, and I don't think you can ever really tease out what the proper metaphysics of this are. But it is kind of interesting to see her, learning from her past, past mistakes, if that's the right way to phrase it. Given that the past and the present are kind of the same thing in this movie,
because she like does persist in terms of her memory of things, right? The movie proves this to us, that she, like, when she learns about the safety in one timeline, she's able to use that.
Yeah,
again.
I'm not sure she has total recall, though. I feel like she just maybe has some sort of vague memory of picking up that sort of information, I don't think she's able. I don't think she's able to recall exactly what happened before.
Mike, did you ever find yourself at all disconnected from the experiences of Lola because ultimately she's got superpowers or is like a god or something?
No, Greg, you'll find I am super into when people have superpowers. It does not make
that was a dumb question
at all. It's kind of my bread and butter. It's what was fun is it almost feels like a superhero origin story. We only see 20 minutes of Lola's life over and over and over again. And it's weird how she's growing, but each time she does something like shatter champagne glasses, that's another thing she sort of half remembers in another reality. I can shatter glass and do things with my power scream, or look somebody so hard in their soul to remember that I've held them up at gunpoint, even though I'm not doing it right now. And so we're watching her realize her powers. And it's like, Lola, what have you done the first 20 years of your life? Why did you not get this cool before? What's special about these 20 minutes? And it's just like any short story in literature. What's special is now there's an audience. And it's us watching them go through that thing. And I would love to see a sequel where she's full-blown Neoing around. It would be a very different genre, just fucking go nuts. Use that scream all around. Scream at Berlin, Lola, scream.
Keith, didn't the Matrix movies teach us that we don't actually want a Matrix sequel in any form at all?
I need to go revisit those at some point because I know there's people that really kind of go, boost for them. I actually kind of like that fourth one that came out a couple years ago that nobody saw. But no, I'm fine with this being a one-off. It's a cool one-off, and the ending of the Matrix is perfect as it is. Yes. Anything else is going to be a letdown. But I kind of like that those movies are kind of about, the letdown of wanting a sequel. But
okay, yeah.
I love how everybody says I didn't see the fourth Matrix because it was COVID. Like that's when we were watching all of the stuff at all times. But no, it came out during COVID. So
Ryan, when was I supposed to see the fourth Matrix? I was watching Love Island one season for the third time.
Love Island, Tiger King.
That's a point for Ryan. That's a point for Keith.
Sorry,
this show has made me a big believer in one and done. That like
yes,
everything is just like it was when we watched E.T., which I always say, but we watched E.T. and it was like there's no more E.T. ever, and it feels so good. They can never come around and be like, "Do you know why he's like that?" No, shut up. It's not in the movie. I don't want you to say anything about it.
Even though E2
Mike,
is right there.
Fair or no, Manny, some people has come in for like a little bit of heat from some people.
Yeah. Some people think you just want to scream at him anytime they think about him, it seems.
As far as like 90s dudes go, how do you think Manny is doing?
It's what how you framed it, like why it's Lola in the title, not Manny, what the changes. We've seen Wait, Manny, Wait, and it's called Train Spotting. Like, we've seen the fucking idiot chud be the focus. And not that there couldn't be an interesting movie about that, but isn't it nice to have the fucking Dudley, not Do-Right because he's a good guy, but just the fucking Chungus of crime boss people? Like, just why would you focus on him? We've done it. It's fine. Yep, he is an idiot and he is bad at crime. I don't want to sit with him for 90 minutes. He is bad at everything he does. How did he pull Lola? Learn, Lola, learn. You're better than Manny.
I mean, just the fact that he's like, all right, if she's not here at this minute, if she's not perfect,
dude,
I will go rob something. I will mess up all the time. But if she is not perfect, I will go rob something. Also, not to like break you guys' brains, but his name is Manny, and she is running with her feet, with her petty. It's Manny versus Petty here. Guys, this movie's a salon.
That's one of those that you say fully knowing it could either like get you 2 points or cost you 2 points, and then you say it anyway. Does anyone want to say anything redemptive or nice about Manny now that we have...
bleach tips, man. I had those same bleach tips back then.
He rocks. Okay. He rocks them better than anybody else can. I do think what he perfectly captures this is the boyfriend you should have in your late teens, early 20s. You should be with a fucking idiot. And so you grow and learn maybe you should be with an adult partner who respects you. I think the actor is great. The nice thing I have to say about Manny is the actor encapsulates him perfectly.
That's true. But doesn't he arc as well? I mean, like a lot of my anger for Manny, I think, comes from just the beginning of the movie. But do we see him grow too? Like,
he kind of turns into the crime chud who always wanted to be. I mean, okay. I mean, the way I kind of read this movie is Lola realizing that she's with a doorknob, right? I mean, it's that she needs to get past him. I mean, I think that's kind of the expression on her face at the end when she sees him like doing crimes. Like, wait, what am I doing here?
Yeah, if we could have used an extra 10 seconds of this movie, it would have been Manny saying, "Oh, what's in your bag?" from the casino, and her just being, "Oh, nothing."
Yeah. Nothing. Yeah. I will see you later. So we don't feel like this like confirms their relationship. Because I was wondering, what are these pillow talk scenes?
Smokes in bed, dude.
Here?
He smokes in bed. That and like, if you're 19,
the dream.
Yeah, that's like hot shit. But no.
Okay.
She also, in all of these 20 minutes, and hopefully we can explore this, has so much to deal with depending on when she walks into her father's office. She has so much to figure out about her own life. Manny, now that we're in our, upper 30s, Manny's an anchor and needs to get out of there.
Okay. So Manny, but nobody has anything nice to say about Manny. And I honestly appreciate that. What do you think Lola's training regimen is? Michael, I'm going to go to you on this. What's she doing to put in the work here?
This is not her first run. She is not gasping for breath. She's not downing water, like stealing it from people. I think she's practicing for the Berlin Marathon.
So you'll know, you have like way more experience running and stuff. You'll know someone is an inexperienced runner if you see them literally stealing water from people.
Oh yeah. I'm still a water thief. So like the fact that she runs into all these people and never jacks something to drink is like good for her.
And Mike, when you run, what type of Doc Martens are you wearing?
Oh, the heavies. I do extra steel toes.
Yeah.
I wrap more Doc Martens around my Doc Martens to weigh me down more, like a batter's donut.
Double Docs. I love it. Well, that's the end of our first segment. Let's go to the scores here real quick. Keith, looks like you have 8 points. Mike, looks like you have 9 points. Ryan, it looks like you're clocking in at 7 points, but there are still tons of points on the table. When we come back, we're going to hear from our favorite critic. It's Descripto the Magnificent.
Descripto the Magnificent.
Yes, he is our favorite critic. He is Descripto the Magnificent. He's not always on point. He's not always seen the movie, maybe, but he definitely has a take. And when it comes to podcasting, you have to have a take. I'm going to read the review. When you hear me say how many stars it is, after that, you can ring in. Please don't ring in before then. I got to let Descripto have his moment. I may have taken out some information that would identify the movie. I may not have if it's an obscure enough movie. Maybe Keith hasn't seen Horse Camp.
I have.
I've seen Horse Camp.
Not a 1999 movie, but that's just an example, you know. So I will read you the review. You ring in by saying your name. I will call on you. And good luck and Godspeed. All right. First review. Those expecting another Taxi Driver won't find it here. What's similar is the story's environment, about 20 years later, but it diverges from there, set in the grittier parts of mid-1990s NYC.
Keith.
It portrays a
sorry.
good portion of its underside. 4 stars.
Keith.
Ryan.
Keith?
Is this Bringing Out the Dead?
It is Bringing Out the Dead. 1 point for Keith.
I'm going to get that one, though. I mean, I did the book.
It stars Nicolas Cage.
You got to get that one. You got to get that one. All right. Next review. Meh. Could have used a little more running. 4 stars.
Ryan.
Mike?
Run, Lola, Run.
That is Run, Lola, Run. Descripto says not enough running. So, okay. Descripto, that's every man for himself. Still 4 stars, though. Got to appreciate that.
Fair.
Natasha Lyonne is amazing. The ending is so silly and awkward, and I did cry during it. Kind of like a sad emoji. The emoji's crying, but the emoji has a smile at the same time. 4 stars.
Ryan.
Is
it But I'm a Cheerleader?
But I'm a Cheerleader. Ryan, I've never seen But I'm a Cheerleader. Am I missing out?
Yeah, you would love it.
I would love it. Yeah. I am like a late in life Natasha Lyonne fan. Like she was always around and I was always following her. But now I'm hooked. I was a huge fan of this movie. So when I saw huge shipping conglomerate was actually selling it, well done. I decided to review it. Well, I guess I should explain why I loved it. Criminally underexposed, I came across this movie by chance. Willem Dafoe, being a great actor, persuaded me to see this movie, and oh my word, 3 stars.
Mike.
The
Boondock Saints?
The Boondock Saints, ladies and gentlemen. You know who I found out was in the Boondock Saints for the first time today?
Powder?
Norman Reedus.
Oh, yeah.
This is the birth of Norman Reedus.
That's the birth of Norman. That's why we have.
He said, I will never be a different character ever again. I nailed it on my first try.
This is my confession. I've never seen the Boondock Saints.
I've never seen the Boondock Saints.
Or put another way, I've kind of avoided the Boondock Saints for
exactly.
a long time now.
You guys are fine. You never have to go, I was a total Boondock Saints guy in my past and be embarrassed about it.
Well, it's like it arrived at the tail end of like too many Tarantino knockoffs and like all the wrong people embraced it. So I'm like, I'm just gonna maybe just give a pass on this one.
If you're ever at a party and somebody comes up to you and says, "What's your favorite movie?" Because mine's the Boondock Saints. You run. You run.
I knew a guy who had they have hand tattoos in Latin because they're Irish, and I knew a guy who had their tattoos down their ribs, and he was a fucking dirtbag.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. When you don't love it, it's so dumb. And I've never loved it, but I have seen it. And the whole time, I'm just like...
I used to work at Blockbuster Video. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. And if a man and woman came in and the man rented Boondock Saints, I would tell the woman to run.
Yeah, dude.
Get out of that scene.
Like slip her a note that says if you're in danger, call back and say the movie's not working or something. All right. Moving on. Ultra violent yet strangely moral. Ultra hip, insanely funny. This movie has everything, including a hilarious scene where one character seems to find 1,000 uses for the F word, and a scene involving a cat. I won't give no more away. because it's unexpected. 5 stars.
Ryan, the Boondock Saints.
That's also the Boondocks.
I was like, there's no way, right?
This movie finally taught me the difference between the words ambivalent and apathetic. I forget what it is, but that's still pretty cool. 3 stars.
Ryan,
Greg,
come on. Is it the Boondock Saints?
it is not. This from now on, none of the answers.
Don't fall for it.
He's
Don't
lying.
fall for
He's
it.
lying.
But how funny would it be if a couple more times?
Mike?
Mike?
That's not the part I should be confused about. American
Yeah.
Cutie.
Say your name with your chest, No, anybody want to have any last guesses? I'm not seeing any takers out there. It is
No.
Girl Interrupted. And if you don't know the difference between the words ambivalent and apathetic, you should rent that movie. I haven't got to watch it yet, but I can still say I do not like the way it looks. Also, I am not about to support a movie that had Johnny Depp in it. Problematic. 2 stars.
Keith.
Keith?
I think it's Sleepy Hollow. It was 99.
Hacha!
Yeah,
It
okay.
is Sleepy Hollow. Keith, as a professional movie reviewist, do you have any problems with reviewing a movie that you have not seen?
Yeah, I tend not to do that. It's just me. It's my weird quirk. It's like if I want to write about it, I should probably have seen it.
Descriptive?
Wait, did they land on 2 stars for that?
He did. He went with 2 stars.
Yeah. Where's the star come from? Where's the assuming 1's the bottom? What's getting points here?
Steampunk.
He says he doesn't like the way it looks. So yeah, I literally have no idea.
Okay.
I think sometimes he's just like, well, got to put some number of stars down.
Hey,
Go on with
Greg,
it.
I don't mean to mess with your shit, but Descriptive might be a moron.
Yeah, well, honestly, okay. I've always thought that there's like a mad sort of genius to him, right? He sits outside and sees a cross culture in a way that we can't fully understand, his mind connecting things in a way that we'll never quite be able to follow. Come on. What is so awful about this movie? All I've seen at this site is disturbingly negative reviews of it, calling for the torture and death of one seemingly annoying character, and calling the movie a, quote, steaming heap of refuse, or words to that effect. Are you people serious? Natalie Portman, for her young years, is an excellent actress. She seems much more mature than the 20 or so solar cycles she's been seen. 5 stars.
Mike? The Phantom Menace.
That is the Phantom Menace. Mike, I feel like that was an okay. We were doing okay there, right? And then
He's getting weird.
It got weird toward the end.
that got a little weird. Yeah.
This is 3 a.m. Too many, some sort of substance. I'm not going to deign to guess.
Again, young reviewers
Baja
out there.
Blast was the substance here.
Yeah. Mixed with Surge.
My nephews informed me that you can now buy cans of Baja Blast from the grocery store, and they were very excited when they said it. They were they could not believe it.
Well, yeah, it's like this legend. It's like when my kids finally get 4 Loko in cans, they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, I've heard the legend."
Here we go. Fucking hate the main character's stupid paper napkin body built to ass. Look at this MF just grinning in the movie poster. I hate him so much. Can you imagine being a kid in that orphanage and seeing this married couple walk in the room and you're, wow, maybe today is my day. Maybe I'll finally be adopted and loved. But then they fucking sit down and talk to the mouse in the goddamn room and these 2 white devils decide that they will adopt this rat ass little fuck instead of you, a human fucking child. 2 stars.
Ryan,
Is
it Stuart Little?
That is Stuart Little. That's Stuart.
Is it not the other mouse adoption movie? From this year?
That segment ends. Keith, you have 10 points. Mike, you have 12 points. Ryan, you have 10 points. When we come back, no more fun and games. Just a bunch of gentlemen talking about a movie. Let's get into the timey-wimey. Does the majority of the film take place in dying Lola's mind? Is she like a demigod who can slightly control destiny? It's destiny like set in stone? Is this just like a Groundhog's Day? Mike, what's this movie say about time and destiny?
I do think the film was made for those conversations. And I also don't think there is a one answer, which I, at this point in my life, like. It's not like you are right if you think it's this. It is, if you want to believe it's Lola died that first time and she's just going through all the paces, cool. If you think she can slightly learn, cool. And so if we zoom out, like, what is it saying about destiny in general? I think it is we have a little more control. Like, things are random, but we have a little more control than we think we do. If I had to give it like a capital T theme.
Do you agree with that, Keith?
That sounds about right. I mean, this really feels like this is a movie you see and then you go back to the dorm room and talk about it with your buddies, you know? I'm not sure it's saying anything profound, but I think it's throwing out some interesting questions like that. I think you kind of landed at the point where it is kind of like a sense of like how how much is out of our control, but how much a little bit of change can reshape the universe as well. And I think it's kind of hilariously overstated in those photo montages, but I do really, but I also like those scenes a lot. So.
That's where basically I think, like, it fits in perfect. Is that like at this time, and Keith brought this up earlier, of like we were all in the post Pulp Fiction, like who's gonna make a movie and what does it mean and what are they gonna do with their camera and how cool is it gonna look? Is that I do feel like that there are things being said. That was the main thing, and then all the cool camera stuff was in the background, sort of, and that was not the case with all these movies. If you remember, Destiny turns off the radio or on the radio just to bring QT into this. But yeah, I think that like we're dealing with like butterfly effects and
sliding doors, Ryan, sliding doors as well.
I'm actually trying to switch the whole phrase of sliding doors to, that's a Run Lola Run.
That's a Run Lola Run. I was thinking that. Why don't we say Run Lola Run? Everybody knows that movie.
And like, yeah, you could do that 20 minutes again. But like all of the stuff that like the surface level stuff does not matter. The bag of money, who gives a shit, right? It's just like, here's how much you can change by one little choice that you make or one little turn around a corner that's a little too hard or not hard enough. And I think that's the main focus, right?
Yeah. Mike, do you agree that some of the variations are maybe a little over the top? Whether or not she bumps into that lady determines whether that lady is going to like steal a baby or win the lottery.
Yeah. I believe in the butterfly effect. I know it exists with Ashton Kutcher, but I don't know if a person running into you or not, or what part of the pavement they run into you on changes the fabric of who you are as a person, and that is what Run Lola Run posits.
But see, yeah, Keith, you said that this movie is like to be like you speak about it in the dorms. I feel like some of the ideas for this movie are like something that somebody says right after they pass you the joint, but before they have totally blown out the smoke. You know,
like, I think there's a big difference between like if you just bump into someone and if you don't.
Like it doesn't seem baked fully. Maybe that doesn't work with that previous metaphor, but like it feels like not like the ideas being fully explored, but just sort of like posited in a way and then moved on from. But does that like ruin our experience of the movie, or is it that's just like part of the experience of the movie? What do you guys think?
It's part of the experience. I think it's the reason why Sliding Doors wins out in terms of talking about it, because like it's not as good a movie as this, but it is like a much cleaner idea. Like, she makes the trains, this happens. She doesn't make the train, this happens, and we can all relate to that. Whereas this is a lot vaguer. It's like she maybe trips over a cartoon dog or something, and then that changes everything. It's not as quite as easily relatable.
And the way that I saw the Polaroid like montages of people's lives is like, is this the movie you want? Like just in case you hadn't.
Oh, okay.
20-minute segments. Like this is what other movies was exploring how like if I did this, then Mike on the bike goes through this, but if not, then he goes through like a whole, just he enters into a heroin den and basically dies. Or this lady is like busted for kidnapping and goes to jail forever. I don't want those movies. Like the whole Sundance sort of 90s thing was like, give us this like very specific slice of life. And he's saying, fuck that other story. That it's too long and like we can't get into what humanity is with that. So let's just flash it real quick.
Another thing I noticed is this one of the, like, I can't think of another time loop movie where it's not just that the protagonist can change things. It's like things are just different a little bit, but things are just different every time she goes through it, or it begins to become different every time she goes through it. Is there any sort of message there about like destiny being set or not for even for her individually, but just like for the universe?
I wonder if it's like nobody ran the 4-minute mile and then one person did and then other people started to. So for all these characters, they're having their own run, Lola, run, even though what we're seeing is she's controlling it. But every time there's slight awareness in them as well. So there's a ripple effect that's going on. And they're NPCs who are slowly becoming aware that they're NPCs, if we're going back to video games.
Okay, so there's so like so many Rosencrantz and Guildensterns. And sort of like
And
beginning to feel their like agency within this movie.
Yeah.
Which did Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, did they know that they were side characters?
They well, you mean like in Tom Stoppard's play? They begin to figure it out, right? So they're originally from Hamlet. These are two characters from Hamlet, and they are indistinguishable within the play Hamlet, and they're basically there just to betray Hamlet. So then Tom Stoppard comes along and he writes a play that is about like focusing on these two guys and what would they be like. And to answer your question, Ryan, they seem obliquely aware of the madness of their reality, but unable to fully look it in the face. And then at times talking about it, at times ignoring it. And then like anytime someone from Hamlet in the middle of Hamlet walks in, they weirdly just snap into Hamlet, and then it's some sort of madness or fit that they're having, and then they snap out of it afterwards.
But I feel like that the message of this movie isn't to apologize to the lady with the stroller or apologize to the nuns that you cut through or the ambulance or the glass carriers or Mike with the bike or whoever. It's just to like be a little less narcissistic, like be a little bit less in the monkey sphere and just know that like this shit is going on, you know?
Because how do you see that, Ryan? Because I think there's a moment in the movie, like how does she break out of the time loop? How does she learn the lesson and push past it?
I mean, for her in the movie, I do believe that each episode that we have has her having more agency. And so, and that's what we want her to have because she's in the title. She's our main character. She's who we're rooting for. The rest is like,
and if there's a turning point, it's getting on the ambulance, isn't it?
That's what I think. Yeah, right. Because she literally says, "I'll wait with him," right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like she gives up the frantic pace of running forward, and she says, "No, I will like stay here with him." And that seems to be the moment that like he gets better, right? Then like it seems like reality itself heals at that moment. So that was I agree with Keith there. That's where I think that like. That's what she learns. You know, like, hey, sometimes you got to stop running, Lola.
Smell the roses?
And maybe smell the roses.
If there's a rose.
If not, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
With all this imagery in clocks, is there enough to justify Tom Tykwer legally changing his name to Tom Tykwer?
That's a good question, Greg.
Ryan, is that a good question?
Or aesthetically?
It is all over the place. I love the run past the fountain that doesn't have the 12, but I think it has 8 spots. But like the run past the fountain is a clock, and then there's that swirling thing behind Manny. I think that is basically a clock, and like
the spiral thing.
Yeah, and they don't do the thing of putting the time code on there, but they do everything that they can to not do that. Like we feel it.
Yeah. Well. Excellent. We are going to move on from this subject. When we come back, we are going to be talking about the multimedia presentation that this movie affords us. Score update. Get your score update. Keith, you have 16 points. Mike, you have 17. And Ryan, you have pulled into the lead with 19 points. This movie is not shot in one standard format, but it seems to shift between different film types and even incorporates animation. Does this do anything more than just to give us different stuff to look at? Or does it develop the concepts of the film somehow?
Is there a consistency to when it's like shot digitally versus when it's shot on film? At least I think it was digital or nothing else, a different film stock.
Yeah, to me, it felt like really early digital where like they could not keep the grittiness like out of it, you know, and that was almost like an aesthetic choice. But like I think it was shot when the moments were emotional, like when her dad and his girlfriend are talking in his office. Like it's like that kind of like real gritty, grimy looking digital, and also everything is like really close. It's like, but it also kind of looks like home movies. It has almost like a VHS
Yeah.
feel to it too.
Yeah, the animation was very home movies. It didn't have the squiggle vision that I have come to expect from animation like this. And right when you turn it on, I love the whole, oh, this movie's just going to do whatever the hell it wants. Like, that's awesome.
Dude.
And it was very Scott Pilgrim-y with the video game stuff and the animation stuff. And the introduction of every character was like almost like you're choosing them in a fighting game at the very beginning.
Okay, I like that.
But the thing that like really took me away was, all right, now we're in the movie, because all of this entire crowd that usually makes me gasp, they all just formed the words "Run, Lola, Run," and now,
Yeah.
now I'm in for this movie.
How about the animation? Did people feel like that like sank into the movie and was like kind of seamless, or does it feel like someone being like, you got to watch this now?
I like that it connected it to the dope credits.
Okay.
Like it made it cohesive in that way, but it's and two, respecting that it's not a big budget movie, that dogs and more people take money, and running down the stairs would do like some camera equipment maybe they don't have. So hell yeah, just drop.
So we got the stars of the most recent Limp Bizkit cover to
yes.
be here in our movie.
I honestly felt like, to me, it kind of felt like, well, this shot's too hard to actually do.
Yeah.
So let's just do the animated version.
I have to say that was an effective move then, because I was wondering like, why is this animated? Like, why is this a part of the movie at all? But I didn't think of it as like, well, that's like Mike said, hard to get a dog, hard to get this equipment to like shoot her running down these stairs. So it answers a question in that way. Does it help with any sort of like blending of reality or something? Like, are we supposed to take, is it supposed to remind us that we're watching a fictional experience or something like that?
I think it works better now. Like, I don't know how it worked then, but like now it's just like, the chains are off and we're just going to do whatever we want with this movie. And there's so many things that happen. I keep going back to the throwing the red phone and it landing perfectly on the receiver of just like, this is sort of a fantasy in its own way. Like, there's not going to be unicorns or dragons, but there is these barriers that this movie is going to work within.
What elevates this movie from just like a music video, an 80-minute music video, Mike?
I think the way that Lola and yes, Manny grow. I don't know how many like clear emotional arcs there are on most music videos, and then it's that it can stop for a beat and not be so frenetic, and let them have their emotional conversations from the past. There's just more intention.
Okay, I like that. And how about if we talked about the pillow talk scenes earlier, in terms of like what it meant to those characters, but like stylistically, how do they stand out from the movie, and why make that choice, do you think?
I think it's what, I don't think we don't know a lot about these characters, but I think we'd know a whole lot less were it not for those. And I feel like also you kind of, if this is almost like a piece of music, you kind of need these slow passages, or else it's just all going to be all fast passages and kind of exhausting. Whereas I find this movie has a kind of a nice rhythm to it that way.
Okay, yeah, it's almost like a time to sort of recharge. I like that.
I totally get that, but they were the worst part. Like, I don't care. I want to move on to the next part. Like, this movie has already trained me to want a thing, Are they, during those parts, are they connecting on a deep emotional level, or are you seeing that not, like, literally not happen? I mean, to me, it reminded me so much honestly of the movie True Romance, of like, you guys are falling in love too fast. This is gonna be dangerous. Stop. Just take a break. Go on a third or fourth date, because this is going too fast. Okay, so like, because what I'm getting from you, Ryan, is like a star-crossed lovers vibe, right? Like passion and intensity, but it's just like there's no foundation for it. And we haven't talked about the dad that much, but the dad's like, I've not heard of this person. Not that he deserves to. He's an awful father, but it's very clearly like, I met this dude and fell in love so fast. And there's it's obvious that she comes from a more privileged background than he does, or at least
probably does, but she's kind of slum. It's like a cool slumming project for her in a way that's kind of maybe gotten a little out of hand.
It's like a pulp song.
Fuck you. I was just
Yeah.
gonna say that. She's common peopling his ass.
Yeah, you do get the sense when she goes and talks to her dad, who clearly is like an investment banker or something, that this is like, almost like a little bit of a rebellion or something, and almost a little bit of like turning away from her wealth.
But like, what did you expect from your daughter, who has this mom who is watching either soap operas or her animated daughter on TV, drinking Jack Daniels all day, and a father who is an investment banker who is clearly setting up franchises? Like, she's going to be Lola. Lola's got a Lola.
I love the dad. He's like, one thing that's super obviously messed up for him is that he knows he's not Lola's father. He says you were a cuckoo's egg, meaning that like she's somebody else is her dad. And then the thing that happens, he's like, his girlfriend says, "I'm pregnant," and he's so happy. And then, brother, honestly, you just got rotten luck because it happened a second time. And so one thing I liked about that was he was either ecstatic or very depressed. And I did feel like that one additional piece of news really could account for that for this particular character, right?
And this, the thing that I love about this movie is that, it's so like, oh no, go out and shoot it, man. Go fast and do a lot of meth and you'll shoot with the camera and it'll be awesome. But that scene in particular is screenwriting 101 in that, when do you start the scene and when do you end the scene? And that dictates everything. And so it's great for structure. Like, it doesn't matter about like your clever dialogue. It means, what did Lola learn? What did we learn? And that scene has it all. And we get to see it 3 times.
And you can see his girlfriend react in different ways depending on when the scene's in. She's like, "I had another line, but I guess I'm going to let you leave happy." Like,
it's so much harder to tell him now. She like, imagine her getting herself ready to do that. And now she like almost did it. And then he's like, "Okay, BRB, we're going to put a pin in this. We're going to come right back to this exact moment, which I'm considering the happiest moment of my entire life, where everything is finally working out for me. And then we'll come back. And if you have that last thing to say, that's when we'll say it."
And the father was probably the security guard, that's so gross.
Okay, dude. Like, brah, 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 and all that. Speed round, obviously. What is the fucking deal with the security guard?
He's a creep. And also he might be the only other person other than Lola who gets what's starting to happen. Like, he is, I think, the most self-aware NPC, and it's starting to break his brain by the end of it.
How fucked up that the creepiest dude in the whole fucking world is the only other person that seems to understand that, like, there's some sort of weird time loop. That's the evidence for that, Mike, is what?
In the third story, he says, "Oh, you're finally here," because she is a little later than she has been. And also the way she looks at him and he looks at her, you can like see it in his eyes and his soul melting out of his ass.
Yeah, that he kind of feels like he's like he's aware of the loop, and he's sort of like trapped in the loop, and he's weirded out by the fact that she has arrived later than she normally does in the loop.
Plus,
that's horrific.
Was it the third story, the third Lola, where he was like, they're standing outside of the bank and he's like, "Oh, that was all awkward. I'll see you again sometime." Probably in the fourth run that comes, but I'm gonna get inside because this is weird talking to you.
But he also has a super creeper energy too, right?
Yes.
Was someone throwing out the theory that he was Lola's father or the father of the? Because like that's an interesting theory I had not really considered before.
He's somebody's daddy.
He's somebody's daddy. He gives real daddy energy.
Returning to the.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead, Keith.
I was gonna say, if those are choices for dads, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe shop around for a third dad.
I mean, like the dad is not listed in the movie, right? We only know who the dad is not, which is the guy that like raised her. But is there like, does that leave the door open for like, this is like return to the demigod thing, that like maybe like she's like a virgin birth, or like that like
made of clay.
Which, how she has powers to restart her life or scream to the point of whatever. I always liked the Mr. Meyer, the guy who keeps getting in a car crash as the dad.
Oh yeah,
I think he's
okay. Yeah, and there's like a little bit of evidence for that, or like that he's married to the woman that that her dad is seeing. I felt like there's a lot of connections between the characters, some of which the movie actually fleshes out, and some of which the movie like only really suggests at. Is this ultimately a movie about human connectedness?
Yes.
All right, very good, Mike. That is correct answer. It is ultimately a movie about human connectedness. I appreciate your being right there for that. If you were an unhoused person and you found money, where on your spending list would maybe washing your face and hands be?
Or is this speed
Relatively
round?
high.
This is speed round, and
It
this
would-
is a
it would be
legitimate
up
question.
there, yeah. First, I would say.
Higher than
About
like
like a
what? What does he?
blue-
What does he do? Does he buy like a hat or something? I'm not
He
sure.
buys
And a nice blue
he
suit.
buys a suit
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
and clearly takes 0 showers.
Yeah, I think you want to clean yourself before you put the suit on.
Seeing our clothes
And I
would
guess-
demand it. Also, you know what that color of the suit is? It's cuckoo's egg color.
Is that true?
I don't know, man. I'm just trying to get points.
Oh
You
wow!
had to say something.
You almost just got a trillion points.
Ryan, you should have owned it. Be like, yeah, it definitely is.
You almost glitched me out by getting so
It's
many.
Robin's egg, clearly.
Do you think that they left him like that so that the audience would know, like, that's the homeless guy? That maybe if like we didn't see him,
1000%.
yeah, that we wouldn't even recognize him because all we would see is like the trappings of the
Well,
person
to be
and not.
fair, he doesn't have a lot of time to shower either. It is a 20-minute stretch of time we're talking
That's
about.
true.
That's true. You know, when I first watched the movie, I was writing the summary of it, and I was like, how long do they have? Like, is that like an hour or something? And I was surprised then when I rewatched the movie for 2 reasons. One, 20 minutes is a very short amount of time. And two, how could anybody come away from the movie not knowing that it's 20 minutes? There's literally a scene where every character says like 20 minutes over and over and over again.
I wonder what the relevance of that is.
Did you guys ever feel like the movie was like kind of spinning its wheels a little bit because it had to get to at least 80 minutes, but honestly the movie wants to be more like 60 minutes?
I mean, it's a long time to the opening credits are long. You see every
Yeah,
character that's in the movie, really like a lot of ramp up. So there might have been a practical consideration to have them that long.
I feel like the movie is always at pains to do things like as long as it could, you know? So like, Laura, let me ask you this. What's the significance of like the bag? That's such a strong choice to have them like repeat it back and forth like that. Why? What does it do?
If I'm remembering correctly, that's early on, right? That's round 1, race 1, and I think it's just everything in that is to set up patterns and make the viewer be like, this ain't normal movie. And so it's just like, to me, it felt like it's just grabbing you and being like, it's almost like there's a scratch on the VHS. Like, we're gonna keep doing that. Like, we're not doing normal dialogue. We're not doing normal movie.
Okay, to break you out of like your complacency with what movies normally do.
It's a dialogue version of the Polaroid snapshots.
Is this the kind of movie where it's like when you go to a restaurant and they're like, who hasn't eaten here before? Because we do things a little bit differently.
It's small plates.
All right, let's get a score check. Keith, you are coming in right now, 23 points. Mike, you had a cracking round there, and you have jumped up to 27 points. And Ryan, you also had an amazing round there, and you got 29 points.
Son of a bitch.
When we come back, we will give this movie some awards. And before we leave, one recommendation. Awards. Run, Lola, Run. Ryan, check my math on this. No Academy Awards. Am I right on that?
It was nominated for 0, and then yet Greg won 0.
Okay. Okay. I'm surprised she didn't just stand there and scream at them until they were like, all right, you're going to get 1 for best sound direction. But, you know, when you come on Movie of the Year, you're going to win 5 awards. And they're these 5 awards. And so now we're going to pick our 5 momentous moments from this movie, starting first with Best Pound for Pound Performance.
Oh, damn.
Mike, it's a cast of literally, I want to say 10 people. Who has the best pound for pound performance?
Normally, we work our way through the words that don't
Yeah.
fucking matter to get to
This is shocking.
I do what I want. I'm an
Uh,
iconoclast.
Award
did.
Greg award is what I'm saying.
You're a boss ass bitch. I trying to not give it to Franca Potentate. Greg, you said it the best in the
Uh-huh.
I should not have tried to give it a Lola. I'm going to give it to Nina Petrie, she plays Frau Hansen, who is the girlfriend of the dad.
Okay.
And I think the
Legit
little
acting,
she
right?
does legit ass acting, and the whole like, well, we don't know why she's a weirdo in the first scene, and then she reveals like she, even as she's telling him happy news, but maybe it's because they're cheating, is that why she's weird? And then the second version of it of he's so happy, but we know why she's not, like her playing all those different levels at the same time. I think she crushes it.
Mike, that's a good answer. Like, I feel like that's exactly why we have this award. Just for having such a good answer, I'm going to give you 1 point, but I might pick your answer, and then you'll get an additional point. Ryan, pound for pound performance, who's given us the most, even if they're in it the least?
I'm going with Mike with the bike. I love how this guy, like, he just sort of knows that something's weird right now, but I'm going to be this fucking dipshit no matter what. There's one time where Lola runs past him and doesn't want to buy the bike, and he's like, oh, okay. And you guys know. Anybody that makes like the face, I'm going to get
ultimate comeback.
That's your guy.
And him looking at our unhomed person and saying 70 marks instead of 50. This guy has just got it going on.
When you see someone, they've just got a new suit, you increase the price.
Don't look at his dirty face. Just look at the color of his suit, which is the
Keith, who won you over with their performance?
I'm just going to be completely normcore. I'm going to go with Franca Potente.
Honestly,
I mean, the whole thing is her movie, right?
Sometimes that's the most brave thing you can do. And just be like.
And I honestly think I'm never happier watching this movie than just the scenes of her running while that pounding electronic score is going. It's like, more. She should run a little bit more. This is just really kinetic filmmaking.
Just like Descripto, you have the same opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
Could use even a little bit more running. I'm going to give that one to Mike. I feel like when we try to describe what pound for pound is, this is exactly what this lady's doing. She's barely got any time on the screen. They reused some of the footage they shot with her, which as an actress has to just be like, fuck you. No, you can't. Do you pay me to do it again, you jerks?
Can I do one honorable mention, which is the lady with the stroller?
You know what? Yeah, let's do one HM.
It doesn't matter how Lola runs around that corner. She is going to be pissed every single time. And that's just everyone that I encounter in my life.
Yeah. All those people move together to Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
And then go to city council meetings, almost professionally. Everyone in Huntington Beach is either sitting on the city council or is just going to meetings.
And they steal kids.
All right. Director's signature. Ryan, let's start with you. When you were watching this, when did you most feel the keen hand of the director?
I was shocked to find out that I had never seen another Tom Tykwer movie. Tykwer? Is that what?
I was less shocked to find out that I had never seen
Cloud Atlas, right? Like he joined in with the
yeah, he's part of that
Wachowski sisters at some point, and like he was sort of this was it for me. But there's so much directing going on in this movie that I did pick the phone landing directly on the receiver. Something that Kate watching this might not understand, but she threw it in a huff, and yet it's still. And come on, that's 90s, baby.
I love it. Keith, what do you think?
I mean, it's tough too because I have seen Heaven, which was the second film we did after this. I have not seen
Blanchett one.
Yes, the Kieslowski screenplay. I have not seen Perfume: The Story of a Murderer, which people seem to at the time were pretty dismissive of, but I think it's picked up a following. So I should catch up with that. He did a movie with Tom Hanks called A Hologram for the King, which is one of those movies like. If this were any good, I think I would have heard. I think it would have gotten a wider release, but I'm still curious about it. But no, I mean, I think for me, it's that first reset, and I kind of wish I had not. I wish I could watch this movie.
Yeah.
Either the first time I knew the premise of it, I would love to just go into this blind and just like, oh, this is what we're doing. This is kind of interesting. I think, and I love the way it turns like the signature for at least for this film is like the way each repetition kind of like it has its variations. Like there's things that are set, things that aren't. Like her mom wants her to buy shampoo every single time. Every single time she ignores her, and never, the fourth segment of this, she has to buy the shampoo. Right? It's all about her like saying goodbye. Never mind, Manny. I got to get my mom some shampoo so she can sip on Jack Daniels, but have clean hair while she does it. I guess I don't know. But yeah, to me, it's like the first time this movie is like resets. That's the moment where I most feel the presence of the director.
And
one of the advantages of being a movie dum-dum like I am is that I actually can go into a lot of movies with like a completely fresh experience. Like if you like are like steeped in film, it's hard for anything to sneak up on you. But honestly, like sometimes, especially if the movie comes from just before my era, like the part of why I like the movies of the 70s is I don't know anything about them. I can put on almost any of them and I'm just like surprised the entire time.
A shark?
Okay, nobody saw that coming. Man, Jaws, you done did it.
There's a point in this most recent season of The Bear where he's watching Groundhog Day. And yeah, we get it, bud. You're like, we understand. Good one. This movie doesn't do like, and then there's been so many things since Groundhog Day that just sort of like, you guys know the premise, right? We're just going to do this. This movie does something sort of similar to Groundhog Day, but like it doesn't feel like it's ripped off from that at all. It feels like its own thing.
No, it's ripped off from Blind Chance, the Krzysztof Kieslowski.
It's ripped off from like
nobody say the time loop movies because that might be somebody's recommendation.
Okay.
Everybody be very still. Mike, director's signature moment.
I did not know the gimmick of the movie. I just knew Lola Run.
Was it so fun then? Speak to that.
So yeah, so 20 minutes in when she gets shot, I'm like, this feels like a real 79-minute move. And there was like little things. I was like, that's weird. The glass. Wayne's World taught us if there's glass, you're going to run into it. And the fact that they just ran by, I was like, that's so fucking weird.
But we'll again.
And so the zoom in on Lola's face and her looking at the camera and saying, stop. We're doing that. I'm giving that. That's she's looking at us. The director's looking at her. And it's just right there. And I still was just like, what? And then when I realized what was happening, I standing ovation in my house. And my wife saw this in theaters and loved it and didn't know I didn't know. So my loud reactions surprised her.
How fun. Well, I'm going to give that one to Mike because that was pure joy there. This movie was made a long, long time ago. My personal rule is never add up how many years into the past something is. But spoiler alert, 1999 is many years in the past now. And besides just destroying my body, what that time has done is moved us away from some mores. Maybe there are some societal conventions that this movie does not follow. And maybe that causes us to cringe. Keith, is there a moment in this movie where you were cringing?
How does Lola smoke and run? I mean, presumably she's, we don't see her. We see her smoking in bed, and then like presumably she's a regular smoker or whatever. Maybe just whatever. Maybe it's just when she's with that bad influence, Manny. But no, I don't think. I know people. There are runners who smoke, but I don't get it.
Not now, but in the 90s.
Oh yeah.
In Germany?
Yeah.
Ryan, what do you say? When are you cringing in this movie?
We already talked about it, but man, can that? I believe he's references the tramp put a wash rag to his face if he's going to walk around with like all this money. Come on, he's not so
walk
dedicated
around with that face on your face.
Not dedicated to the craft of tramping so much that he won't wash his face. That's ridiculous.
Here's the other thing about that guy. I also like that he has this bag of money. At this point, he could pretty much just leave all the other bags behind, right? I mean,
but he loves
that's
bags.
all replaceable, though.
Also,
I'm honestly in it for the bags.
We insulted Manny a lot, but let me do that one more time. Before he's about to catch up to him on his bike, he says, "Hey, allowing the person on his bike to raise weight. Don't say anything, Manny."
Also, if you rob somebody with a pistol and they say, Give me the pistol. A lot of times that's not going to work out for you. That's
90s as hell, dude.
Usually you're going to get reverse robbed, and they're probably not going to use a gun.
I so badly wanted us to 5 minutes of them doing that back and forth.
Very much like Hercules and Atlas trading the sky back and forth. Mike, do you have a cringy moment?
I found it's hard, and I think you can tell from ours that like it skates pretty through. It dodges a lot of our normal stuff. So I'll say
Germany's just an unproblematic
Yeah.
country.
What have they ever
and
done?
always has been. In one of the snapshot montages, I think it's might be the second one of the brunette with the severe haircut in the hallway of the bank. There's like it pauses for a second of her being a dominatrix, and it's like a laugh line. It's just like I don't know. It's 2025. We know not to kink shame. Some people like to be hit with leather. Fuck off. It was just it felt hacky in a way. A lot of stuff in this movie did.
But
not.
they ended up
Yeah,
happy,
especially because
right?
like she. Sorry, Ryan.
They ended up happy. Like, didn't they like have a good
Yeah,
relationship?
they settled down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's riding a tension there between like I don't know the fact that he's maybe supposed to be embarrassed by the fact that he's like the submissive, and I feel it in there, Mike. I definitely and usually Grouchy Greg is gonna go right there with you, just have an excuse to get grouchy about stuff. But Keith really wanted me over with the. She runs for the entire movie. It's hard to imagine her smoking. But do you remember when your lungs still functioned? That was cool. Really pulling a bunch of air.
Instead of
All right.
running, I just smoke.
Yeah, dude.
Double.
This movie is almost entirely a music moment. But Mike, could you pick one magic music moment?
A fun fact is that the soundtrack is by Tom TikTok and the vocals are by Lola.
That is a fun
and
fact.
I believe the song is called Run 3. So guess which part it's in? It's the third part because it changes. But the lyrics are, and think it's just like the pounding bass and a very talk singing, which is good for my vocal range of none. But it goes, I wish I was a hunter in search of different food. I wish I was the animal which fits into that mood. I wish I was a person with unlimited breath. And it keeps going like that. But yeah, I was like, lyrically, yes, this is for you or perfect. It's almost like the people who made this movie made this song because the lyrics are fucking fitting this moment in the movie. And it is when she's finally changing. She is becoming that hunter.
Ooh. Oh, wow. Nice little tail end there, Mike. Keith, what do you say? What's the music moment?
I mean, just the score in general. I kind of touched on it before, like the running and the pounding accompanying to it. But it's also like I have this weird nostalgia. Like this is not music I sought out a lot at the time. I just wasn't really into 90s electronic music. And like now I hear it's like, oh yeah, this is good. I like this stuff. I should actually go back and catch up with some of this stuff I didn't hear the first time around.
But honestly,
kind of
we
grabbed a
searched
hold
it out
of
because
all
we
music,
had
didn't it?
movies. Like the movies provided. Anytime there was a tense situation,
Mhm.
90s provided.
The 90s gave us so much.
Mm-hmm.
Music moment for you, Ryan.
My favorite thing ever is, let's say, the Blues Brothers movie, which has a lot of blues music.
True.
And then they're in an elevator, and it's like, it's in the store where we just get a little break from the rocking Danny Boyle would pick this music into just
That sort of.
I want a soundtrack of just Ryan doing that.
I worked at Carl's Jr. for a very short time in my life, and I swear there was just a dial that came out of the wall, and above it said Muzak. And the dial, you couldn't turn off the Muzak, but the dial just could turn it up or down. And it was just like, just flush on the wall. Like there was no other sign or anything.
turn it down.
Turn it down. Yeah, we did. We basically turned it all the way down.
I turn on.
That is a good move, Ryan.
Huh.
And but I think I'm going to give it to Mike.
Sure.
Sorry. He did the thing where he's like, and that's the moment where she changed, which obviously illustrates to us the fact that her journey has come to a conclusion. And I'm so
You're a sucker for that.
in the pocket
Yeah.
for that. I'm just a dumb dork. Funniest moment. The 90s have given us the 1999 season part 2 has given us some really funny moments. But Ryan, was there any funny moment that stood out in this movie for you?
This was a tough one, not a laugh riot, but I loved that security guard really being there, really providing security. And then Lola, on her second run, I want to say, now that she knows that there's safeties, just pulls the gun right out of her thing, his thing, and then walks right through the wall. She's totally fine.
This is such a video gamey movie, but to hear us describe it, it's very specifically like a type of video game that's really big now and was not big back then, called roguelikes, like where you make these runs, as you're calling them, through. It really is like that in this movie. Mike, Ryan contends that there are few funny moments in this movie. Do you agree?
I do. Even if that might give him a point. There are few and far
And
between
it
funny
did
moments.
give him a point.
I disagree. My also comes from the second run from the bank. It is the very nervous teller does not have enough money to give her 100 marks, and so she says, "Go get me more." And he goes, "Okay," and very calmly walks to the vault, assumes very calmly, and puts it in and comes back, and that made me laugh. It is a quiet moment, but it really.
But like he had a look with somebody else. Was that painted? Like were those paint explosion things in that bag?
Oh, like the squibs or
Yeah,
whatever?
'cause he looked very calm about it, and he made another look to somebody else.
Okay. The secret ink bags. I like that. Keith, what do you say? What is the funniest movie in this absolute laugh riot?
It's the pane of glass, the recurring gag of the pane of glass that gets broken once. Presumably because he can only film that once.
Yes.
We have a
And
question here.
yeah, exactly. But no, it's like, this is okay. It's the movie that knows movie cliches and knows that we know movie cliches, so it's kind of going to play with us a little bit. And it made me maybe chuckle a little bit when that happened.
I'm going to go with that because the audience sees the pane of glass and demands that it be destroyed. And then when we are denied that, we some part of us is just outraged.
Anger.
And when that ambulance goes through that pane of glass, it's just like, yes.
We are watching Lola run through a movie, and for the movie to not do like this is the normal, this is the Western, this is the sci-fi, like just to play it straight the entire time, I think is impressive.
All right, now it's time to give our recommendations. I'm going to go first. And again, my certified basic choice is Time Loop movie. One of my favorite time loop movies. Extremely funny, great comedy. It's not Groundhog Day. It's Palm Springs, which came out in June of 2020. And I'm not going to lie. I'm going to tell you, I needed a comedy. Some of us were out in the world June 2020 already. We've had enough shelter in it. Not me and my wife. We were very much in the house. And a movie about doing the same thing or having basically the same day over and over and over again was very welcome. Andy Samberg is amazing. Christina Melody.
Who'd you fall more in love with in this movie? Was it Andy or Christina?
Well, there's no yellow dress in this from the Penguin, which I still have not recovered from seeing her in that dress. It's, you know what, Ryan? I'm just going to double down on the basicness, and I'm going to say it's their chemistry. The two of them together, like, they are so additive to each other, and so it would be hard to pick one because it's like they light up the screen in a way that would either make that movie work or not work, and it works. If you have not seen Palm Springs, go check it out now, unless, like me, your Hulu just lapsed, and so you're like, well, maybe in 6 months or something.
Hulu.
Ryan,
Yeah.
You love recommending things.
I do.
Do so now.
This one was a hard one for me, but I'm going to go with a movie that just say, like, pay attention to this stuff and disregard the rest of it, and it's all going to be fine. I'm going to go with Speed Racer. This is a movie that it gets it used to get a lot of shit when it first came out, but now I feel like the stock has risen to the point where it's better than Citizen Kane. And I like the fact that, like, people are like, well, if you really pay attention, which means pay attention as little as possible. Like, this is the magic eye of movies, where you sort of have to, like, squint and blur. It fucking rules. It just fucking rules.
Okay. I'm just going to say it. That's brave. That's a brave choice. It is a movie with a strong take, certainly. Keith, what do you recommend if you're in the market looking for something to complement Run Lola Run? What do you recommend?
I'll quickly defend Speed Racer. I like that movie too. I caught up with it later, but I mean, the obvious one is Krzysztof Kieslowski's Blind Chance, which is heavily the inspiration for this film, and it is very good. I would recommend it, but I want to dig just a little bit. There's another Kieslowski movie. Tykwer was obviously a fan. He filmed after Kieslowski died. He filmed the movie Heaven, which was from I don't know if it's a completed screenplay or a screenplay idea. And that movie's not great, but it's okay. But check out The Double Life of Veronique, which is another Kieslowski movie from earlier. And it's sort of like it is playing with some of the similar ideas of like how circumstances shape character, and how two people can be, how lives can diverge and converge in interesting ways. It's just a beautiful movie. Kieslowski, one of the best, gone too soon. And I think Tykwer is very generous in tipping his hat to him when talking about this movie and elsewhere. But go back to the original. It's good stuff.
All right. Wonderful recommendation. I would hate to follow that, but I don't have to. Mike, what is your recommendation?
Something much dumber.
Pogs.
Look, if you want a never-ending adrenaline rush, have you got to check out Pogs.
Pogs are back in ALF form.
A much dumber movie than Run Lola Run. But if you want nonstop adrenaline, in this movie, it's because the main character will die. But it has that European city feel. It has the the whole time. It's Crank. Jason Statham's Crank is so stupid and so fun. And also one that I did not think of that while we were talking about this movie is, and it's because I'm obsessed with this book series right now, is Dungeon Crawler Carl. And there's a bunch of NPCs and they are all slowly waking up. And so if you want more of that, read those books.
Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Yeah.
That sounds super fun.
Greg, we need to talk.
Okay. But of course, Mike and I do not talk unless we're recording it as per our contract with Ryan, and we have to respect that. Well, great recommendation to everybody, myself most certainly included. Let's get to our final scores, everyone. Let's see how we did. Keith, you clocked in with 36 points in a 4-man race. That's very respectable. Mike, you came in with 35 points. And Ryan, let's see, buddy, you came in with 33 points. So that means, Keith, you are our big winner.
I didn't see this
with
coming.
36
Thanks, guys.
points. Congratulations to you. When we come back, we're going to take just a minute to talk about the Blair Witch Project, and then we'll call it an episode. It is time to talk about the Blair Witch Project, and so we should have a little reminder here as to why we are doing this, why we're talking about a second movie on tonight's show. And it's because, of course, this is our second attempt at 1999. We changed the parameters a little bit. We added 8 additional movies, and we wanted to go back and see if we were correct in our pronouncements about 1999. But there was already shows about the top 8 movies like the Blair Witch Project, which you just naturally think of when you think of 1999. And so we did not feel a need to redo it because we had those episodes. But also, we did lose those episodes. And so we wanted to give a shout out to these movies because a lot of them are the real biggies, and just give our approximation of what we think now, what we thought when we first talked about these. And, they are eligible for Moody's. They're eligible to win the whole dang thing, right? So don't take it to mean that because this is like the second segment on this, that for whatever reason, Blair Witch Project has less of a chance. Because, frankly, one of the movies we already covered might win it. And that would be, if we had a hope, it might be that we confirmed that we were correct the first time in 1999 when we said Eyes Wide Shut is the movie of the year. But Eyes Wide Shut, we're not even going to do its own episode for. We're just going to have one of these little segments for, because we already did that.
I'm going to jump in here.
Jump on
Greg's going off. Do you guys think that like the original 8 have more of a chance because those are the original 8? Or our new 8 have more of a chance because it's like fresher in our brain?
For me, it's a mix. I mean, I definitely... if we were to list right now the movies that we're not actually doing their own show for, most people would say, oh, your winner's going to come from among those. And then I would say half of the ones that we're devoting full episodes to, about half of them have no chance. Half of them have a legit puncher's chance.
It's so funny because this episode, which we're doing, Run Lola Run and the Blair Witch Project, I would say neither one has any chance.
What?
At all. But these two movies are so 99 in their own ways that, like, how could we not,
Yes.
Yeah.
We must fill out what 1999 is and means. And I don't know, the new ones probably have a good chance because we all our pinkies all intertwined. There were 6 pinkies wrapped it together, and we said, I refuse to watch the original 8 again. We're going just off of the top of our dome. Why would we rewatch those?
That's not true. We're rewatching all of these.
Yeah, it's blatantly not true. But I would say that one of those movies that I would say I could not watch again and I'd be fine is Blair Witch Project. And guys, I watched it again, and I had some new feelings. It's a crazy ass good movie.
You watch the same movie multiple times over your life, and it's different every time.
And what I remember from the last time we watched it, it blew us all away. So,
oh yeah,
it's just it's aging like the finest of wine.
Well, I wrote a little thing about it, and then
shit.
maybe we could talk about it. I'm just
up.
gonna.
Could you?
I'm
please
sorry.
shut the
This was
fuck
mostly
up?
my fault.
Hey,
I'm
Mike,
sorry.
shut
I tried
the
to say
fuck
a sentence.
Shut the fuck.
You can talk about why we're doing. If you want to say something else about why we're doing.
Yeah,
it.
I don't think we covered why enough. So I'm gonna monologue for about 15 minutes about why this.
Well, okay. Let me introduce the movie, and then we can talk about the Blair Witch.
It's Blair Witch Project.
The Blair Witch Project is a found footage horror movie about 3 young filmmakers that venture into the woods in search of the Blair Witch, a mysterious figure linked to multiple incidences of spookiness and murder. When it was released, the Blair Witch Project was a cultural phenomenon in part because of an advertising campaign that effectively muddled the reality of the film, convincing too many viewers that the movie was the unexplained final moments of 3 actual lives, that these were the real deaths of these 3 people. In retrospect, this lack of media literacy may have been a warning about the true threats facing the nation. In what world could this be believed to be real footage? Gentlemen, this is how I feel about professional wrestling, the same way. Even if you didn't know professional wrestling was fake, couldn't you watch it for 15 seconds and realize that it's fake? Even if you didn't realize this movie is like a mockumentary, found footage horror movie, couldn't you watch it for 15 seconds and realize it's a movie-ass movie?
It's so weird. My upsetness about WWE when I have spent so many hours watching movies and TV shows.
Right.
And then I was like, well, fuck, that guy knew that hit was coming.
I think it's the problem with wrestling was, especially in the 90s and the Raw era, it was the assholes who declared it was real and got mad. I think saying, but it's fake is a dumb critique of wrestling. But the people who would stomp their feet and gnash their teeth at you and say, no, it's not. Vince McMahon got thrown through that car too. Everybody was wrong when it came to wrestling, turns out.
But I am podcasting with my 2 bros here, which is somebody who taught me about wrestling and how it was every show I watched. And I was like, no. And then my other bro who was like, man, have you seen The OC? Isn't that a great show? The OC is also not real. And yet sorry, Mike.
In the Saga universe,
raptured into their storylines. And I would say that with this, what do you think, 6th time watching this movie, I'm just about the characters in Heather's relationship to Josh, Heather's relationship to Mike, and very much less so Mike's relationship to Josh.
In the movie, there are pains to underline this sort of mixing of real and fake. And at one point, Josh is looking through the camera. In fact, this is one of his last moments with his homies. And he says, I see why you like this camera so much, man. It's not quite reality. What is the movie saying here? What does the camera offer the cameraman? And what does it offer the viewer in this movie?
What the camera does for the viewer in this movie and any is it tightens the focus. Hearing a real argument is fucking boring because people are basically just repeating themselves over and over and over again. They're arguing to win, not arguing to serve the plot, which is whether it's on stage or on film. We're talking about cameras. So on film, they aren't just fighting to win. They're not just saying "fuck you, you fucking fuck" over and over and over again. It is each line.
They're not podcasting.
They're not podcasting. Each line, in theory, is saying, here's how I feel about the moment we're in. Here, more importantly, is how I feel about you, the person I'm having the argument with. It's not about the lost map. It's about what your leadership is and what it is not.
And I do think that every time we watch this, it's more like, Heather, you bitch. Heather, you cunt. right? Like it's more like
from like the two men in the movie towards Heather.
right.
Yeah.
Just like how could you? And they started off with like, oh, you're such a filmmaker, and the filming's so important, and then it becomes like, you fucking woman. Like they can't
You're right.
hold
They
it.
deteriorate.
Right.
I mean,
and like
go Ryan.
they just go to like their base instincts of like, I'm scared, I'm hungry, I don't have a cigarette, I'm going to scream at why you're lesser than. And I can't believe how early that happens. When you watch this movie, you will be shocked at how late the horror stuff happens.
Yeah.
And how early the fuck Heather happens.
And a thing I don't remember clocking before is like that they don't know each other, but like they are all antagonistic towards each other from the moment they meet. It's just when you're have a bunch of supplies and cigarettes and starting the trip, it's funny, haha.
Yeah.
But like right when she meets Mike, she's like starts calling him Mikey, which is not cool of a Mike if you don't know the person. And she's like, well, Mr. Punctuality, like you're just meeting him for the first time. And I'm not saying that justifies anything he says to her later. I'm just saying right away, everybody's claws are out a little because they all want to be cool film adult bros that were smarter than each other.
We all know that if you meet a Mike, you call him dirty butt, no wipey.
Yes, thank you. That's the sign of our people.
We've seen this movie a bunch now. Ryan, you alluded to it still being scary. I found it pants-poopingly scary still. I mean, this is, again, I agree with you, Ryan. It's like the sixth time I've seen it. I was sure going into it that because I'd seen it a bunch, it couldn't possibly be scary. It scared the absolute shit out of me. Is this a scary movie, Mike?
Yeah, I think the slow ramp up is so good. We're in real boring documentary for so long that like it glazes your eyes over in such a masterful way. And so when you're like, oh, sticks, that's weird. Even if it's just some weirdo in the woods, that's fucking weird. Sticks and stones, those can break my bones. And then so by then the climax of Heather grabbing the camera screaming and be like, what the fuck is that? Like then you're on the edge of your seat.
Ryan, if you had to pick like a scariest moment, and maybe it's not always the same moment, like how about for this viewing, what was the scariest moment on this viewing for you?
Oh, God. I mean, I cannot believe how good this movie is. Every time I watch it, it feels like it should have diminishing returns, right?
Yeah.
It should go away as you
put it on thinking like it's gonna kind of suck a little bit, and then it like kind of blows you away from the beginning, right?
And then it's a perfect like Pulp Fiction milestone in that, oh, you copiers did not understand what it took. Like we had other Blair Witches after this. And I'm not talking Blair Witch 2. I'm talking, there is no movie that came after this that was as scary. And it's the friends. No, save that one. It is the darkness closing in on them. Like we don't know what is out there. They keep walking north, and that's so fucking scary to me. But it's also, we were friends. We absolutely were when we were not stressed. And now the paranoia sets in. And I swear to God right now, you two are my best friends. No matter what happens, we're going to be best friends. But the second I think there's a witch like on the other side of the world, I'm going to stab both of you in the heart.
And say, this is for you, my mistress.
So yeah,
it's
not even the relationships that are developing, and I love them, and I love how Heather knows Josh from the past, and Heather has just met Mike, and that comes into play. But also Mike throwing like not knowing where the map is, but then at one point being like, ha ha ha, I threw away the map. Oh my God, I don't care about somebody standing in the corner at the end of the movie. This is what relationships are like. All you know. Every person you know is a fucking psychopath, and it's so scary.
Deliverance is referenced in this movie, and then a little bit later, Heather says, it's very hard to get lost in modern America, and it's even harder to stay lost. I remember this was sort of the center of a lot of our conversation in the original episode. What is this movie saying about like frontiers in America and our ability to like still be in the wild?
And this is pre-cell phone.
Basically, yeah. I mean, like people literally had cell phones now, but it was like businessmen with slick back hairdos and like white jeans, and they were real pieces of shit.
But you just think that like if I walk enough in America, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Not true.
This country is so grossly, disgustingly vast, and the arrogance of modern, even more modern Americans than these cave people in the Blair Witch movie, is we're fine. There's gonna be McDonald's around the corner. Don't worry about that. I got this because I live in a climate controlled little box, and everything I want on my other little box, it brings it to me. Like, but no, there's nothing. We're gonna be totally fucking fine.
There's this idea that like once America moved from like being coast to coast, that like, and this has been like a problem in America, that the frontier disappeared. But like Deliverance and this movie shows us that like the wild is all around us and civilization is peeled back in a moment. Like the second we move out into the woods and we're a mile away from the roads, we're like cavemen again, right? Like the frontier is, I guess, maybe like the vast expanse of the human soul. Ryan, sound off on that.
I mean, like, once Obama got elected, that did solve the country. So we were good after that. But now that this is the first time of me watching this movie with a daughter, and if I'm alone with her, I'm fucking freaking out. And the fact that like they keep going back to cigarettes, which is such a short term pleasant, like it's not going to solve anything, but at least we have that right now. It's so I don't care about the fucking kids' blood's hands on the wall. I don't care about the standing in the corner. It's the whole like I don't know what tomorrow brings. That's so much more horrifying.
There's a point where they're still freaking out about the DAT machine is gonna be late.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, bro,
what is that? Is that $20?
Yeah. Versus like, where's your food? Where's your toilet paper? And it's funny that they keep going back to cigarettes and not back to Heather's How to Survive in the Woods book that she brings up in the first 5 minutes of the movie. She's like, can't go without this. They never look at it.
So I want to ask you guys this. It was because like the two things for me are, is it because she's a woman, or are filmmakers always making movies about how hard it is to make movies? So is Heather like this person who was like always getting called on because she's trying to make a movie? Or is it these two dudes being like, I'm desperate. Fuck you, you bitch.
I think it's a super gendered experience. I think that this movie is an exploration of gender when you peek past the big moments of it. Like the witch is a lady, but she usually to hear the myths talk about it, she's utilized like men as her killers in the past. If you like ignore a couple things in this movie, it would be hard not to come to the conclusion that Josh and Mike just take her out into the woods, torment her, and then kill her. And whether or not they literally do that by their own choice, I do think that they are the instrument for whatever supernatural force. Like they literally do end up killing
Josh
her.
does.
Yeah, Josh kills her, right? Mike stands in the corner and turns away, and Josh kills her, just like the way that the Blair Witch has like always had these guys kill. So I think it's an intensely gendered experience.
It's gendered, and it's also an exploration of relationships, because Mike starts off more aggressive and meaner, but as it goes, Josh, who's no longer, says the meaner shit because he knows her more, so he can dig harder, and then is the one who actually kills her.
I'm going to take 1 minute to be Grouchy Greg here, and I'm going to say that the way they filmed this movie is they actually put 3 actual filmmakers out into the woods. They used their actual names. They actually subjected them to long marches during the day, very short nights in which they were subjected to all sorts of torments. Is this an ethically made movie?
To me, this is not Tarantino grabbing Uma's leg and pushing it down and scaring her more. This is not Kubrick.
Or making her drive in a car that was too dangerous and then she wrecked her leg.
The other one we've done for the show is Fitzcarraldo, where he said, isn't it crazy that these slaves brought the boat over? Could we get some of those slaves? Would that be okay?
Yeah,
right. No, yeah. To me, this is so much they signed up. They were told not what was going to happen, but that this kind of stuff was. Watching it this time, all I was thinking, I fucking want to make a Blair Witch movie.
Oh my god! You can tell they're legit, very actually miserable. Like maybe and maybe even a little bit scared. There's a part where she says to one of them, like, "Are you scared?" He's like, "I'm not fucking scared." And it's like that feels like the two actors saying to each other, like,
"Right?
Are you actually literally scared?" And him being like, "Yes, I am, but you can't ask me that."
And honestly, like, if we went and did this right now, which I think that we should, maybe we could find a Blair Witch. I think the 3 of us could. It's not the sticks and the trees or whatever. It's the wet socks, man. Are you serious?
And then don't laugh at that. That is going to be, she's going to get blistery and chafed, Mike.
Heather low-key kind of thick with it, huh?
Okay. I do want to
my
point out Heather's performance in the first 2/3 of the movie, because I feel like in the last third, they have stuff to react to. Maybe not fairly, maybe not like the Actors Guild would approve of that.
Yeah.
But in the first 2/3, it sucks to have nothing to react to, and she is annoying as fuck. But I do think that she is the most realistically annoying actual person in the history of film. She just does this stuff like, hey, I have the camera, and what are you going to do, a shot? Or, oh, your feet are cold? Like, the acting in the beginning is really impressive, and you can't just do that if you Backstreet Boys it and say, like, hey, what 3 musicians want to come into this movie? Like, she is incredibly talented, and then she was asked to go away because they ruined the press of the movie.
Yeah, it's so weird. I mean, that's another like ethical consideration, is that like they stole these people's identities really to make this movie.
She should link up with like Kelly Reichardt or Sarah Polley, like who's a naturalistic director, because that's what fucking would be so good together.
First cow, 2 second cow. Heather O'Donoghue. Let's do this.
More cow. And maybe this follows on the heels of what you're talking about. Like, especially early on, this movie's legit funny, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah. Like, it's just, they're so dumb, but they're so real. It's not dumb in the way of like, Joey from Friends is dumb.
Mm-hmm. It's dumb in the way of arrogant college kids who are like, we know more than these small town yokels.
Also, Heather would say like, oh, we have a big day tomorrow. And then they would drink more. God, don't do that.
But when you're that age, dude, that's exactly how those two things fall. The we have a big day tomorrow means we should stop working. And then the we stop working means we should start drinking, or we should start drinking in earnest, right? Like with real intention.
I won't give any details, but I have a college class where I talk to college students, and some of them are horror film people, and half of them I would say that this movie is legit, and half of them roll their eyes so hard.
Yeah,
and I do think that like, because this movie has sort of like the background that it does, it has the reputation that it does, they go in ready to roll their eyes. And like, no, man, if you let this movie take you away, this movie will. I think this movie
and you think because
great.
No blood, no guts, do you think they're like, oh, that's not even real horror then?
No, I just think that like, I will not be scared by anything. Like, I'm going to take this pill, but I will not let this pill do anything to me. And like, we're doing this in the Lola Run episode. This is such a better, like, it's more effective of a movie,
and like a similar movie, right? Because it's also like a mix of two different like film stocks, or like a film stock and a VHS or a real lo-fi digital, and that moving back and forth. And then sometimes it's just simply an audio experience. Like, you run with a camera out into the dark. If anyone's ever interested about what that would look like, watch this movie, because there's big long periods where the screen's totally dark and you are sure something is gonna like jump out at you, and nothing ever does, except for one time Heather goes off screen and then she herself comes back on screen, and that actually might have been the scariest moment of the movie, because I wasn't expecting to see her and she suddenly pops up, and this time that's never scared me before. This time I just like, it felt like something new scary was happening, and I was like, oh my God, what is that? It's Heather. She's just walking into frame. Mike, any final thoughts about this movie before we bid it adieu?
Its reputation, it's good. Don't ignore all the marketing. Also, it's been 30 years, so that should be easy to do. Just watch this movie like it's a movie.
I mean, do the filmmakers and producers or whoever regret all of the stuff they did beforehand to sort of ruin this movie for everybody?
I think they did not have budget for normal marketing, and so they had to go guerrilla, and that was the only way.
I mean, the movie made $250 million, so I imagine like they're fine with it. And they hardly had to give any of that money to those 3 people who made the whole thing. Like, literally made it, because they're filming it. They're not just in it; they're literally filming it.
Oh, I'm gonna need
but
you,
those
like,
people hardly got anything.
When we do press conferences, I need you to like not be there, and then also you will not get any money. Like, cool.
Yeah, and also like it will be hard to cast you in other movies later. So,
because people will think you're dead, and you'll be scaring them in auditions.
That is the Blair Witch Project. I think it has a legit chance. I don't know. It's kind of like, if you judge a movie exclusively by what it's going for, I think we maybe have never had a more successful movie than a movie that sets its parameters, works within its limitations, and makes those limitations feel like powerful choices, not limitations, but instead like real opportunities to do something new and different and impactful.
If you let the movie set its bar and
Yeah.
you go 99 as fuck, this is
there it is. There it is. There it is. When we come back, we are going to return to Run, Lola, Run. Well, that is our Run, Lola, Run show. Now, Run, Lola, Run is obviously in the running to take this whole thing down to potentially win Movie of the Year. But how about those moodies? What moodies do we think we're going to potentially see here? I'm wondering, are we going to get Biggest Shithead? And if so, which character from this movie is it going to be?
father.
The
It's
dad?
Pa.
Oh,
Yeah.
not Manny. Manny has a chain wallet, though. Keep that in mind.
Yeah. Oh, chain wallet. That is the shithead's
The
mark.
movie makes a really convincing case, though, that like Manny wouldn't even be on her radar if her dad weren't such
Right.
a piece of shit. Or I feel like that's at least in the cards or something like that. How about musical moment? I mean, for the entire season, we're gonna at the end of the year obviously pick one like musical moment. Do you think this is gonna like split the vote with itself because the whole thing is a musical moment?
Kinda. I don't think that there's one nominee here. I think that like
Yeah.
if you were to put as one nominee, Run Lola Run dash 90s music, then it could work, but I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Yeah, and maybe the one that I think it has no chance of, based on the like our reading of the movie, is Duo. Right? There's no way that
Mhm.
we're gonna pick Manny.
Those two Doc Martin feet.
Pounded up and down on the old pavement. Well, Keith, thank you so much for
My
being
pleasure.
on our show, and you won.
Yeah,
That's gotta feel good.
it feels great, guys. Thank you.
Where, if our listeners somehow are listening to us and are not following you, what's the best way to stay connected to your work?
I mean, the reveal.film is like my primary outlet, and I'm on Blue Sky and other social media outlets. It's Keith Phipps 3000, but the reveal.film is the newsletter we put out. We're very proud of it. I'm also co-host of the Next Picture Show podcast, which is also out there talking about movies. I mean, you can listen to more than one podcast about movies. It doesn't have to be just this one. You can listen to ours too. I know.
Make some space in your lives, guys. Come on. Do it.
And the three
Well,
of us,
Keith, it is such an honor to have you.
Oh,
three
it's
of
my
us are
pleasure.
working on book names for your next book because you had the Age of Cage.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna suggest.
I honestly think that the title is almost what sold that.
What do you
that
think of a
book.
title?
So I need to figure out a clever title, and then I'll figure out my book pitch around that.
What about the Epoch of Tupac?
Ooh.
The Revolta Travolta.
Travolta. Greg, what is yours?
The Renaissance of Beyonce.
These are all.
I'm still working on mine, Ryan. Come back to me.
I'll take some of these ideas and run with them, guys. Thank you so much.
No problem. Yeah, okay, excellent. Well, that's all we have, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to the show. We still have a lot of great movies coming up, so check those out. But in the meantime, keep watching those movies.